G'day everybody, thank you for tuning back into Altra's Barbecue. We've got the Pit Boss Champion Barrel Smoker out today. This is part B of my double cook that I mentioned in the last video, except what we're doing is how to smoke a cheap pork shoulder from a supermarket. Everyone loves their Boston butt, but sometimes you need to go on a budget, and you can get some beautiful cuts of meat from your supermarket, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to smoke one up today, so stay tuned.
So here we have our cheap supermarket pork shoulder. It's only cost me $18.50, which is pretty cheap compared to a normal Boston butt, which is at least probably double that price. If you're buying this piece of meat and you're going to be cooking it on the spit, then I recommend leaving the net on. But for me, I want to take it off because I want to get to that skin. And bingo, I've got signs of a money muscle. With this skin, you can certainly keep it. You don't have to chuck it away. What you can do is just chuck it in your air fryer, in your oven, and make some beautiful crackling out of it. That's your choice. But for the purpose of this video today, I'm cutting the skin away. I'm going to work away at the hard fat that I don't want to have in the cook. I'm going to keep a reasonable amount of fat in there as well, just so it gives me maximum flavor. And there is that money muscle. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Either way, I like the look at this piece of meat. I'm sure it's going to be tender and beautiful. Once you've scored the top, I've prepared this the day before. I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight. Sunday morning, and what a perfect way to start the day. The barrel smoker is ready. I've got my coals ready to fire, and I've got some cherry wood chunks. Usually I would use apple, but we've got cherry for today. I'm going to season my meat, yellow mustard as a binder, and then Lane's signature rub to top it off. As I said in part A, where I was cooking the brisket, what I like to do here is just fire up my coals in the chimney rather than fire them up here. I just find it gets my barrel smoker up to temperature a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to distribute that heat and let the barrel smoker do its job, open up my side dampers and my top damper, and try and get some heat into this barrel smoker as quick as I can. My pork has been chilling now for about 30 minutes, and the barrel smoker has gradually been getting up to temperature. I'm hitting 200 degrees now, so time to close off my dampers on the side, and then on the top, just get it to about 25%. And I'm starting to regulate about 240, 250, so on goes the chunks of wood. To be honest, I'm not getting clear smoke at the moment, so not the best time to put the meat in, but I am on a bit of a schedule. So in goes the pork. I'm going to leave this alone now for about 60 minutes, and then we'll come back and check on it. One hour later, time to get my spritz. I'm just going to spray it with some water here to keep it moist, and then we'll be closing the lid for another 60 minutes.
So worthwhile noting about 90 minutes into the cook is the temperatures seem to be creeping up very, very gradually. So what I've decided to do is close that top damper completely to bare minimum, and then with the side dampers, I've closed them up just a little bit more as well. So there's just a little bit of air getting in to try and regulate that temperature. So I've also hooked up my ThermPro just to make sure the temperature is accurate from what's on the barrel, because I'll be honest with you, I don't always trust the thermometer on these barrels or even the Kamado Joes. So worth noting, guys.
And as you can see here, I'm showing 300 degrees in the middle and about 270 on the top. So great information for me while I'm cooking. I'm going to heat up some additional wood chunks now. I'm really starting to get that beautiful mahogany color now on these porks.
So I've got my next 2 blocks of cherry wood just warming up on the top of the barrel now. I've also hooked up my ThermPro. So top left, that's telling me that my barrel smoker is actually about 282 degrees at the moment. And then the bottom 2, they're my 2 porks. So as you can see, one's a little bit hotter than the other. That suggests that maybe the right side of my smoker is a little bit warmer at the moment. That's okay, doesn't matter, just let it cook. It'll be ready when it's ready.
As I said in part A, I'm looking really good with my fire. I'm going to be chucking on some more wood as well for some additional smokiness. About an hour later, and just look at this. It is absolutely beautiful and forming a beautiful bark.
Alright, I'm just about in the store for the pork shoulder now, and the colour of this thing is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go and wrap it up. Let's go and take a look.
I've cooked a lot of Boston butts, a lot of pork shoulders, and you do not get this colour on a pellet grill. Absolutely brilliant in the barrel. So what I'm going to be doing now is wrapping it. I've got some brown sugar, some honey, and some apple juice, which is going to give me some beautiful sweetness. I've got some thick foil. I'm going to wrap it together nice and tight and then throw it back in the smoker until I reach approximately 205 degrees Fahrenheit. I have refueled this with just a handful of additional charcoal, but generally the heat is really good. I'm hitting my temperatures. The pork is now probing beautifully. It's like butter, 205 degrees, time to give it a rest.
Alright, so my pork is now probing beautifully. Time to put it in the esky, let it rest for a couple of hours, and then we're going to pull it and enjoy it for dinner.
Approximately 2 hours of resting, and this pork was beautiful. It was so tender. So I decided to just rip into it from where it was. I've got all those beautiful juices flowing from the pork, as well as the brown sugar, the apple juice. It was pulling so super simple, and it smelt unbelievable.
Alright, so here we have our pork shoulder. It only cost me $19 from our local supermarket. It's been smoking on the new Pit Boss barrel smoker for around 9 to 10 hours. It is super tender. It looks really, really juicy. Let's dig in, let's give it a go and see how it tastes. It's got a lovely colour. It's dripping from the fat, from the juices, the apple juice, the brown sugar. Let's dig in. That is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of smokiness from that cherry wood. It's juicy from all the flavours that I put in there. Absolutely beautiful. It is so tender. You don't need to get a Boston butt if you don't want to. If you want to save yourself a little bit of money, do so, because you can achieve absolutely brilliant results on a budget. If you really try hard, this is brilliant. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you again in the future.
Cooking with the Boston butt arguably does give you great results because you've got bone in as well, which gives even more flavour. But if you're on a budget, you can achieve fantastic pulled pork super easily. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.